So attack in the night.
Yeah.
So what's the idea? What's the point?
Get the knight to move to open up the king,
Okay. This is definitely part of it. And attack.
allowing the bishop to attack.
It's funny hearing myself. So you can pause. I mean, you can mute me on your tablet.
Oh yeah, hold on. It's not my tablet. It's my PC.
Okay. So yeah, F5 is definitely part of it. That's a resource that you have. The only problem is if you move to F5 now, the knight can just move in and check the king, forcing the king back, and then it's black's turn again. He probably doesn't even have to do that. He can probably just retreat the knight and be okay. But the first move you wanted was to recognize that you can pin the knight to the king.
Oh,
That's
there
part.
is that too.
That's part of it. Now that might not necessarily be the solution, because let's say we do pin the knight and he can just move the king to get out. So his question
Yeah.
is like, what did you really
Instead of me
accomplish?
keeping the king there.
Yeah. So my part of my thinking is okay. If we pin the knight, he moves the king. Otherwise, he's going to lose the knight because of f5, which you pointed out. So if he plays here, I'm wondering if we go ahead and take, and he takes, and then we play king to g6. He has no way to protect this pawn except with wait, no, he can't. He's not there. He's here.
Actually, you know what? If he moves his knight over there, then he'll be able to take our bishop if we try to, you know, check the king.
Well, this is my thinking is
Well, we can. Oh, we can move the bishop to where the king is.
but you have to have a
So
point though. You have to have a follow up because if he just moves over, then your attack's done.
that's true.
So like this is my proposal: is bishop b3, pinning the knight to the king. He has to
Uh huh.
move. We're gonna take the knight. He has to take back, and then our winning move should be king to g6, attacking this pawn, and he has no way to protect it.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
So I don't see a better idea than that. And now
See what happens.
the point is we have to take. If we don't, then he can just
Okay.
protect it. Yeah. And then this should be the winning move. Yep. And then
G6.
you gobble the pawns, and then you have a winning advantage. Yeah. That wasn't actually the very easy puzzle. This is supposed to be under
No,
easy.
feels like it was a little open-ended to me.
Yeah, it's difficult because like there's like when you get to higher level puzzles, there's multiple stages to it. You can't just find just one or two moves. You have to find the continuation, and it doesn't always have a mate. It just has a winning advantage or even just like a little advantage sometimes. All right, you want to call it there? I think
Do
that's
another one.
do another one. I hate these in-game ones. All right, what are your thoughts with this one?
Okay. We're white.
Yeah,
Oh, this is one of those walking ones, huh?
yeah. So you gotta somehow promote that pawn, but safely.
Hmm. Where can a knight move? I can only move on a white square next.
So I'll point out like if we
I think
played,
we should move. Huh?
go ahead. You can go ahead.
So I'm thinking move the king first to g6 perhaps, and then the knight may move to either f5 or he might move over to f7. Maybe.
He can't
Or he
move.
might just run away.
Yeah, he can't move here because we'll just take it and win.
I know. I'm just saying that those are his options, though.
Yeah, and we can't play h6 because he can fork the king and pawn and just sack his knight. So it has to be a king move. And
So king forward one.
so here's the interesting thing is you want to rule out what you can't do. So obviously you can't move here because it's not legal. Can't move here because it's
Yeah.
not legal. So we do have the three options we do have are these three. And likely with these puzzles, in-game puzzles, there's only one
Well,
correct
I
one.
don't want to get in the way of the pawn.
That's a good point. So we'll rule out that one.
And that's not an. Oh, that is an option right there. Actually, that could be an option. So instead of G6, what about F6?
Let's see, I'm not even 100% sure myself. I know with F6, he can check you,
No, he could check you though.
but the thing is that a problem?
Yeah, I would say it is probably.
Well, if checking doesn't.
You have to move the king. You have to move the king afterwards.
So let's say he checks you, and then you have to move the king here. That's not really necessarily bad, unless he has a follow-up.
Protecting your pawn, that's a big issue.
Hmm?
If you have to move the king further out, you're not protecting your pawn. It'll take you that much more time to get to your pawn.
I mean, like, if we played here, and then he checks, and then we played here, we'd be closer to the pawn.
The pawn's is over on the h5 though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you mean move back?
So I'm saying, like, even if we move here, it's fine. He can't check us. This might be just winning here. I don't really see a way for the knight to get to the king or the pawn. So that might be the best move. I'm not...
I think moving forward to G6 is probably the best option.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if there's any way the knight can do something tricky. Because all he needs to do is take the pawn.
His best bet to check the king and stall is a two move situation.
I don't
He
see...
wouldn't be able to do it in one move.
Alright, let's go for a G6. Alright, that's the best first move. Okay.
So I guess the only other option is to push the pawn.
Alright, we gotta make sure everything's okay. So if we push the pawn, there's no checks. Only way he can attack the pawn is by playing here, but we can push the pawn again if he does that. He could...
He didn't move the knight, so we know that all, like, any dark square is safe now.
Yeah.
Is that right? No, any dark
Check.
square is not safe.
Alright. So I'm voting for pushing the pawn again. I mean, pushing the pawn for the first time, I guess.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see.
I concur.
Alright. He's attacking our pawn, so we have no choice. This is the only move.
Okay, so now he's not really doing any real attack, but he is positioning himself so that he can attack the pawn.
Yeah, so that would be a draw if he takes
He's
it.
attacking the pawn currently. So he can attack the pawn the next turn, though.
Hmm.
Looks like the only thing he can do is to push the pawn forward.
Yeah, only move. And it just stops there.
Yeah.
Alright, now I want to back up and see... Alright, let's say we played here. And now it's suddenly equal. So it says if he played here, here, check.
Yeah. Then he.
Oh, then he can play this and you can never get past
Yeah.
this. That's the
You're
point.
kind of done.
So the takeaway from that is it's not direct, but staying out of checks from the knight is significant because he gets to maneuver himself to prevent the pawn.
Also, you probably want to stay near your pawn.
That too. Oh. So staying near the pawn, hugging the pawn in a way, but also making sure the knight can't necessarily not just not take it directly, but also prevent the pawn from moving. And then his king can just dance side to side and just go for the draw. That's interesting.
I have a rule for the knights that I kind of just remember to make it easy for myself. Whatever color the knight is on, he can take the opposite.
Yeah.